Tobile come in. Ibisiyaphi ibhone? Ibhonethi njalo ibisiyaphi? Wow. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is andiswasanelisiwekhumalo, also known as Andy K. And to all the returning subscribers, thank you for coming back to my YouTube channel. And if you're not subscribed, please go pause this video. Make sure you go and subscribe because we're on the road to 700 subscribers. So make sure you do subscribe. As you see from the title below, I'm doing a Real Housewives of Durban review, so don't go anywhere. It's lit this side, it's fun this side, and yeah, continue watching. So we are introduced into this episode of Real Housewives of Durban, episode 7, and we first see Khumalo. Thobile is at her house with her husband Musamselegu, and Thobile is just updating her husband about the upcoming trip that Lonti has planned for the ladies, and that she's very excited. And among that conversation she's having with her husband asks Thobile who Sorisha is going to be with. Now at this point I'm just like, why is it so important? The relationship that Thobile and Sorisha have? It's like Musamselegu is more concerned on Thobile being friends than with Sorisha than anyone else. So then Sorisha tells her husband that Sorisha said she can pick anyone she wants to be with on the private jet. At that point I'm just like, Sorisha, you want to Thobile so Thobile must choose people. And then when the ladies are mad, those that are not chosen are mad. Sorisha wants to put the blame on Thobile. We'll see what you're doing, Sorisha. And then she also tells Musamselegu about her meeting with Lakonko. And then she said that, she could kind of feel that this meeting is kind of like negative, like meeting. And then she just tells her husband that she told Lakonko that she does not remember why she was moody to her, and that what, she doesn't see the need in being friends with her like that because she is Mayeni's friend, which is her sister wife, and there is no need to now be forward, and every time she sees her sister wife's friend, she must be forward and she must papa and all that stuff, which I think Khumalo is supposed to say that from the beginning and just tell Thobile Wuti, la sis, you are Mayeni's friend, you are not my friend. Obviously, when I see you, I don't see the need in me forcing a friendship, or I don't see a need in me I don't see a need in me being forward. So I would have respected Thobile if she told Lakonko to her face, but now Lakonko, she's just taking the whole Thobile thing out of hand. And then we get to Annie. Annie is at her house. She's continuing with her isiZulu lessons. If you don't know, Annie is married to a Zulu man, so she's trying to learn Zulu. And obviously she invites Jojo, which I don't know why she invited Jojo, because Vele Jojo seems like someone who's not interested in learning Zulu. She's just there to act the fool. So it's just like, what's the point of even inviting Jojo? She's not the best person you can invite to learn Zulu. As I said, she's not serious. And then Sorisha was also supposed to come, but Sorisha cancels last minute and she's just like, I can't come because I have to cook, something along the lines of that. So they proceed to learn isiZulu. And then at that time, as I was saying, Jojo says that she feels like she is subjected to learn with Annie, and that she's not really feeling the whole learning isiZulu vibe. She didn't say that, but in that case I insinuated that Vele she doesn't want to learn Zulu. So I don't see why, when Jojo says she feels subjected, why did she allow herself to come if she doesn't want to learn isiZulu or even want to be there? And then they begin to learn isiZulu. I think they were learning they were learning how to count in Zulu. They were learning how to count from 1 to 10. and nothing much was happening. They're just learning Zulu. We see Annie counting. So I really like it that the ladies are learning other languages. It just kind of makes me happy that, you know what, we have different official languages in South Africa, and Nati, as Zulu people, we should also try and learn other people's languages and stuff like that. But at least we're seeing something, other ladies learning languages that they don't know. See Jojo meeting up with the parents. So this is actually the first time, I don't want to say the first time because we've met Calvin, but this is the first time we're actually seeing Jojo's parents. And they just talk about how Jojo is feeling around the other ladies. And obviously, Jojo being Jojo, she has to mention Nonku, because Angiti Nonku cannot get out of her head. Angit. So she talks about Nonku. She says there's this lady that I'm not getting along with. Her name is Nonku, and she's just like, she doesn't know how to maneuver things. 1 minute she's hot, 1 minute, and the next minute she's cold. So at that point, I was just like, does Jojo really want a relationship with Nonku? Because at one point, it seems like she's really genuine in wanting to have a relationship with Nonku. And then the next minute, Nonku this, Nonku that. When she meets up with Jojo, when she meets up with Londi and Annie, it's like, Nonku this, Nonku that. So I don't quite understand where Jojo stands with Nonku. And then they also begin to talk about her husband Calvin, that Calvin has gotten a nose surgery, and something along the lines that his nose surgery flopped, or something along the lines with that. I know nothing really interesting happening at that moment, and that's where that scene ends. Now we see the whole setup of the Nambiti Hills trip. So we see Londi is at Nambiti Hills, and she's the first one to arrive because obviously she is the hostess with the mostess. And now when she gets there, she's told that there is a very challenging situation that has happened, and that is that the rooms are not all in the same place. So I don't know if the manager of the person of the place comes to Londi and tells her that he was not able to book all the ladies at the same lodge, so some of the ladies have to go to another lodge. But now here's the catch: the other lodge, yes, what Tobago is. The other lodge is 1 hour away. So I was just like to myself, Kanti Ulondi, when did she actually book? 1, 2. If 5 ladies need to go to the other side of the other lodge, and only 3 are able to stay at this lodge, does it not make sense to cancel the lodge that you at and be like, you know what, let's all move to the other lodge that is 1 hour away? So it was kind of like, Auntie, did you book on the day? Did you book yesterday? Did you not book it in advance when you were planning the trip? Anyway, so now we go back, and now we're seeing the ladies kind of prepare for the whole Nambiti Hills trip. We see Tonko picking up Mabusi. So Tonko's going with the car, and she's picking up Mabusi at her place. And on the other side, the other ladies, Abo Sorisha, Abo Krutman, we see Sorisha deciding to fly out in a private jet. And she decides to take Tobile, Annie, and Jojo. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So they decide to go on a private jet. You can even see there was this moment where there was a video of all of them walking to their private jet. And Annie's confessional, she was just like, a private jet, something along the lines of a private jet is, no, she said a private jet, something about that's how housewives do it. They go on a private jet. And I'm just like, tata wena eni tata. Although, that's not even her private jet. But that's a story for another day. Then we go back to the other ladies that are not in a private jet. Unfortunately, they are in a car. And Latonto talks about Tobile again with Mabusi. So it's just Mabusi and Latonto in the car. Latonto decides to talk about Mabusi. He's updating the Mabusi about the whole lunch. And at this point, I'm just like, let it go. Let it go. It's like there's probably more to what's happening, because why is Latonto so obsessed with her Tobile at this point? So obviously she just updates her about Tobile. And she also updates she was being very shady. She updates Mabusi that she went on a spa date with Nonku's mom, the queen, and she asked the queen one question and said, no, I don't know if she asked the queen a question, but all I know is that Nonku's mom said that Nonku is a very wise woman. To which at that moment, like Tongjo just sipped her juice. The way she said it, you can really see that she was being very shady. She sipped her juice and was just like Nonku being a wise woman. And then we go back to the private jet housewives. La baba shakti langit bagwe private jet. Sibuela kona gwe private jet. We see the ladies just talking. Private jet. Although the private jet, I was imagining those private jets that we see in America. Or cant. I was imagining those kind of private jets. So I was very shocked when le private jet yasorisha ayisancane ngaphakathi baze bayipintshabo. So I was very shocked when I saw inside. Wow, this private jet is actually really small inside. But either way, I'd rather go with a private jet than to be in a car probably 3 hours away from Durban. No. And then we see Latongto fetching Nonku, and Nonku updates Mabusi while she's in the car about petal about Latongto receiving flowers, and that in the card it said for my petal to my petal Latongto, all those stuff. And Mabusi is just like, how and yeah, we just see them having fun. I was actually really happy to see Nonku and Mabusi getting along in the car. Happy, go grand, go rides, go la. Now we see the ladies that were on the private jet arrive at the lodge. As you see, they were happy. They came very quickly. I think one of the ladies said that it took a very quick time to get to the lodge. And while we go back to La, we see their car breaking down, and now the ladies that came with the car are stuck on the freeway. On top of and now I'm asking myself, Gandhi, who's the person that booked them the car? Because Latunk was just like, it was negligence. The driver didn't the driver check that something's wrong with the car, and I'm just asking myself, Gandhi, who's the person that booked them the car to get there? And she was blaming the company and stuff like that, and they waited a pretty long time for that car to come. And if only they knew, Guti, if you a private jet, they would not be too happy. And then Londi is surprised. We go back to the lodge, and Londi is highly surprised at how and the other ladies who came with the private jet came, so she's very surprised. And then Londi breaks the news of the room situation, and that some ladies have to be in this lodge and other people have to be at another lodge which is 1 hour away. And at that moment, Londi decides to choose Sorisha and Tobini. And I was just like, Kanjan, it doesn't make sense. At this point, I feel like the ladies are sucking up to Sorisha, because obviously Sorisha, if they say she's the most richest and she's the hood man of the group. So I was kind of like thinking about that situation, that why would Londi pick Sorisha? Automatically uThobile usiyangena ngithi umngane waSorisha siyangena lapho. So just felt like it's some sort of sucking up, and it didn't make sense. If other ladies came with a private jet, why can't they sleep at that lodge which is 1 hour away, knowing very well, Guti, there are some ladies that are coming with the car? It just did not make sense. And Annie is fed up in her confessional. She's very mad. She's just like, the trip has started on a bad note. She must fix her, what did she say? She said something along the lines of, she must just fix this whole thing. Now we have to be in another lodge. We have to be 1 hour away, blah, 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 blah. And at that moment, Londi tells the ladies that she's planning a pajama party later on. And when we go back to the ladies that are in the car, we see the ladies still waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for a car, up until the point that a car finally arrives. And you can see the ladies are heartful, they're tired, they just want to be at the lodge. Mind you, the funny thing is that the next car that came, like the way they were sitting in that car, if I hope I can try and leave a picture, they were so close to one another, ngathi school bus and then Latonto says that, you know what, Petal says, she was telling Petal about the whole trip and that they're going with the car, and then Petal was just like how he prefers being in the air than driving. And again, as I said, it's kind of like this thing of, is Petal real? Petal, because every time now it's just like Tonto Uzo Tomango Petal has this, Petal has that, and Nonko in a confession was just like, you know what, if Petal really wanted Tonto to be in a private jet or whatever, he was going to book it. He was not going to ask. He was going to book and tell her that, hello, I got a private jet for you, and so Nonku doesn't buy it. So do I. I don't buy the whole thing of Petal private jet teasing, because at this point it's just like Tonto felt like Tonto's trying too hard for us to know that Petal has money. Petal has some he works in very high places. And now we see Annie and Jojo at the lodge, and Annie and Jojo decide to talk about the whole room situation and how it sucks and how they have to be 1 hour away, and obviously at this point, to me, Annie and Jojo give me the very mean girl vibes. They give me those type of people that love complaining, or they try to see everything wrong in a situation. Complain. Now it's just like she's recruiting Jojo and is recruiting Londi in this whole mean girl vibes. And then they talk about like Tonto, obviously, and about the whole flower situation, and that is Petal real and stuff like that. And then we go to Tobile and Sarisha. So we see Tobile and Sarisha talking. Very interesting friendship going on. As I say again, is the friendship genuine, or is Tobile trying to suck up to Sarisha? We are going to see as episodes go by. If Tobile does not make another friend with these housewives, I'm convinced that Tobile was there for Sarisha, and she was there to just make friends with Sarisha. And then they talk about her husband, and they talk about her husband Musam Selego. I can't quite remember what they were talking about. Oh, they're talking about that Sarisha is going to look after Tobile, something along those lines. And now Sarisha, they were talking about how the other ladies are not there. She feels sorry for them. They're going to come quite late. But at that time, you feel sorry for people, but when it's a private jet, so now you can see that there was no communication, or just to tell the ladies that are going with the car that, hey, we are going with the private jet. And Toby was just like, I'm glad I went with you, because baby, I was going to be on that other side. I was going to be in a car. So it kind of gives me very sucking up vibes, Tobilia's relationship with Sarisha. But I will see as the episodes go by, is this a real friendship, or is this sucking up to Sarisha? Because obviously we know Sarisha has status and she has milk. The ladies that were traveling in the car finally arrived at the lodge. They were tired, they are hungry, abasafuni next, abafuni loto, and Londi tells them about the room situation. So already the ladies come in and they're just very heartful, they're tired, and very their mood is not on 100. Just to add on that, Londi just decides to tell them about the room situation. So now Nonku is pissed, because she's just like, I just wanted to sleep, I wanted to bath. You're telling me about a room, and telling me about a room situation where I'm gonna have to travel another hour to be in that room. And as I said, I felt like Londi should have given the ladies that came late first preference to the lodge she's sleeping at. Then the ladies that came very early, they must travel 1 hour away to that other lodge. I think that only makes sense. I just feel like Londi did mess up. Just as I say, and I'll say it with my full chest, I feel like she was sucking up to Sarisha at that point. And the ladies are not too quite impressed themselves. And now we see Nonko and Mabusi and Latonto talk about how tired they are, and they're complaining about not getting first preference. And Nonko's just like, she's very pissed. She's not in the mood for anything, and we must now travel 1 hour away. And Zonke and Ezozi, that they complain about Londi's hosting, that she's not hosting right. And Latonto's also chipping in, Mabusi is also chipping in. And in them complaining, Mabusi decides to tell Latonto and Nonku that, hey, I heard through the grapevine that the other ladies came with a private jet. So now we see Latonto, she was just like, Mabusi, itu uyadlala, ungazongihlanyisa, uyadlala with buffing a private jet. And Mabusi was just like, yeah, they came with a private jet. And Nonku was very, very, very pissed. But now the very interesting thing is that they were complaining, but as soon as I don't know who brought it up that Tobile was in that private jet, Mabusi was just like, Ganjani, how does Tobile, a newcomer, is allowed to be in that private jet with Tina Ama? Oh geez, we aren't in that private jet. At that point, I was just like, hey, Tobile came and saw an opportunity to be friends with Sorisha because she knew the benefits that would come with that. You see, smart people, they think. Although I do feel like it's sucking up, but at least she was thinking. She thought very well. We're at the pajama party. We see the theme of the pajama party is sexy. Obviously, we see Londi, Annie, and Jojo coming in their very sexy pajama numbers, looking very good, looking very lovely, looking very wonderful. And then we see Tobile come in. If you see happy Bonnet, Bonnet, Injali, we see happy. Wow, we see Tobile with the bonnet and a head. Yes, I see the gown, not the gown. Yeah, I think it's a gown. You see, I've got the bonnet. And then we also see Sorisha coming in. Sorisha, I don't know if it's sexy, but at least she tried. And then we see the other ladies come in. And Nonko, as every event, comes in looking very sexy, comes in. Nonko's just like, you know what, I'm just here to have fun. And they made a jab at Latonto. And they were just like, Londi, her friend made a jab, and she thought that Latonto was going to come in cotton, not in silk. And I was just like, okay. Now we see Latonto bring up the whole issue forward about the whole private jet, and that, she was kind of feeling some way on some ladies decided to fly. At that moment, Sorisha was just like, she was very rude. She was just like, and she said something along the lines of, nobody's supposed to fly, or somebody decided to fly, and it was just like, Tata Sorish. This is the Sorisha now that we don't know. This is Sorisha coming out, and now we're seeing her true colors. We are not hello Sorish, not the kind Sorisha. Now we're seeing the proper Sorisha. And Nonko also enters that chat, and she says that she just wanted courtesy. She just wanted the other ladies just to communicate and be like, hey, we're going on a private jet, and meanwhile other ladies are going with the car. I understand where Nonko's coming from. Obviously Sorisha was just feeling some kind of way at that time. It's like she's feeling very bold and not really pride. I'm just like, Sorisha, Nonko does have a point of just communication. Obviously you can invite whoever you wanted to invite. It's your private jet, but I get where Nonko's coming from. I know for a fact that if I went on a trip and there were other people that went on a private jet and they did not communicate that issue, I was going to be pissed. I was going to be highly pressed myself about that matter. Like, hey bo, so I said I'm private jets. No, it's better if someone tells me so I can just prepare myself as I'm in the car. Like, Lord, please help me sit in this car while other people are in a private jet. So when I come to that lodge, I'm in a very happy spirit. So I kind of get where Nonko's coming from. And at that moment, Jojo's confessional, she's just like, who drives anywhere? Kind of flicks her hair. And I'm just like, Jojo, rest. Jojo, rest. If it wasn't for Sorisha, I know for $3.99, you would not be in a private jet. You would be on a car yourself. So it's just like this whole pride that these ladies are having. Ugh, ugh. It's like this is now the reason why you guys are sucking up to Sorisha, because you want some kind of benefit. So it's just kind of bored at the whole Jojo, Annie being very proud that they were in a private jet, considering the fact that you were invited to that private jet. Okay. And as now we see Nonku and Jojo going back and forth. Jojo's now being highly rude, and she's just like, Nonku doesn't know when to stop, and she talks too much. And I was just like, Jojo, why are you being rude to Nonku? This is Sorisha's battle to fight. And I would have liked to see Sorisha fight her whole battle for once. Maybe nobody Sorisha go head to head with Nonku. But obviously Jojo decided to fight Sorisha's battles, and she's just being very rude and telling Nonku to shut up and all those stuff. And in Nonku's confessional, Nonku was just like, she was very humiliated. How I just is yes, just very humiliated. Yo, this word, humiliated by Jojo, and she should have just stayed home, because she didn't think that, this is what's going to happen on the trip. And this is where we see the end of episode 7 of the Real Housewives of Durban. So if you liked my video, please give it a big thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Please comment down below how you're feeling about Real Housewives of Durban. Please make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 700 subscribers. And I'll see you guys in my next video or in my next review. I love you guys all for watching. Bye.